The purpose of the weeding stage is to gradually lessen the fear of making mistakes. Allow yourself to accept that mistakes are a natural part of being human. They may never disappear completely, and they do not need to. For faster pieces, the objective of this stage is to gradually bring the music to its intended performance tempo, refining passages that remain technically or musically uncertain, while developing the ability to establish the correct tempo consistently before beginning to play. For slower pieces, the primary objective is to develop the ability to establish the correct tempo consistently before beginning to play. With each repetition, your sense of tempo becomes more refined until it feels natural, stable, and aligned with the character of the piece. This careful work with timing provides an essential foundation for unperformance stage later. When first introducing the weeding stage into your practice, you may find it helpful to use the sticky note method. After each repetition, place a sticky note on the score wherever an error occurs. After a few pieces, this process often becomes more natural. You may find that you no longer need the sticky notes as you begin to remember the passages that need attention and correct them as you continue practicing. While playing through the section, keep your main focus on step 3. At the same time, allow part of your attention to notice any sections that require further work. You may notice a memory slip. You may notice that a passage does not yet feel technically secure in its accuracy, evenness, or speed. Or you may notice some uncertainty about the musical structure, such as the phrasing or the form. It is important to practice each of the following steps while remaining in step 3 of artistry, rather than mechanically. In this way, the physical sensations, movements, and musical intentions of each passage gradually become part of the same artistic state in which the piece will ultimately be performed. Otherwise, when returning to the complete piece, those passages may still feel unfamiliar or disconnected. For slower pieces, the objectives are simple. Learn to choose the correct tempo consistently before beginning to play and gradually strengthen your memorization. When practicing a slower piece, after each repetition, identify any memory slip sections and work through them using the 3 steps of the weeding method. Identify which intervals became unclear or went blank while playing, and focus on improving the musical speech within those intervals to strengthen memorization. Add a sentence before and after the error measure to practice that measure within a larger block. Play through the piece again. When playing, keep in mind any corrected measures and pay attention to new challenging sections to practice afterward. For faster pieces, begin by practicing one sentence at a time. Once that feels secure, expand the section to 2 or 3 sentences, remembering to shift your attention between energy fields as you move from one sentence to the next. Then continue to 4 to 6 sentences, maintaining the same shift of attention from sentence to sentence. Before moving to a larger section, make sure the current one has been thoroughly memorized. Choose 3 practice tempos and establish each one with the metronome. Before moving to the next tempo, pause briefly. From time to time, reconnect with the metronome pulse, then re-establish the tempo internally by imagining the opening bars before you begin to play. Move to the next sentence only when both your body and your mind feel comfortable, coordinated, and secure. During repetitions, keep your hands resting lightly on the keys. There is no need to lift them between repetitions unless you pause to re-establish the tempo with the metronome. Allow the practice to continue as one uninterrupted flow. Use fewer repetitions at timing 1. Spend most of your repetitions at faster timings. Try to avoid the common thought, "I'm not ready yet, but tomorrow it will probably be there." It is tempting to hope that 2 sentence sections will suddenly reach their final tempo after another day of practice. In reality, this expectation often leads to frustration and disappointment. If a single sentence still feels uncertain, continue working with that sentence rather than moving to a 2-sentence section. Progress only after the sentence can be played comfortably and consistently at timing 5. Each sentence forms the foundation for the larger section that follows. Likewise, do not expect timing 4 or timing 5 to feel secure before timing 3 has become comfortable and reliable. Each timing forms the foundation for the next. When practicing very fast pieces, you may occasionally notice that your fingertips feel less stable, your forearms become tired, or tension begins to build. The following suggestions are intended as a troubleshooting guide to help you work through these situations safely and comfortably. If your forearms begin to feel heavy or develop a burning sensation, remember that a certain amount of muscular fatigue is a normal part of developing stamina. To support your body through this process, strengthen your arms with regular exercise. Greater strength allows the muscles to relax more deeply while playing. The more they are able to engage when needed, the more easily they can release unnecessary tension. It is also helpful to include short plank exercises to strengthen the abdominal muscles and core. A stronger core provides a stable foundation, allowing the upper body and arms to remain more relaxed during fast playing. Another helpful tool is the windmill exercise. After every 2 or 3 repetitions, rotate each arm 10 times in both directions. Move quickly enough to create a smooth circular motion, but always gently and without force. Lean slightly forward and support yourself by resting the opposite hand on your knee. This movement encourages circulation in the arms and helps relieve muscular fatigue in the forearms and wrists. You may notice a mild tingling sensation in your hands afterward. During your first week of practice, perform the windmill exercise as often as recommended in the program. As your muscles gradually adapt, you will usually need it less often. From that point on, use it whenever you begin to notice a feeling of heaviness or burning in your forearms. To help prevent pain and injury, pause briefly after each repetition and bring your attention to your breathing. Allow your arms to hang freely by your sides and exhale slowly 5 times, noticing the tension gradually leaving your arms. These short pauses give both your muscles and your mind an opportunity to recover. Returning with a clear and relaxed attention often makes the next repetition more productive. If you begin to notice stiffness in your hands, bring a little more attention to the phrasing, allowing the inner inhale and exhale of the music to be reflected in the breathing pattern of the muscles in your hands. Allow also your touch to become lighter by increasing the freedom and amplitude of your elbow movement. If your fingertips feel unstable in faster tempos, begin by checking a few simple things. Keep your fingernails short and, if needed, apply a small amount of dried dates to your fingertips to improve your grip on the keys. It is also important to stay well hydrated. Some pianists find that drinking several cups of lightly salted water the day before intensive practice helps their fingertips feel more responsive and stable. If your fingers begin to feel as though they are flying, return to the forte exercises using either a legato or a staccato touch. If needed, apply a little more dried dates to your fingertips and make sure your fingernails are kept short. If your fingers begin to feel wooden or they no longer move freely at faster tempos, take a short break. Perform the windmill exercise and continue strengthening your arm muscles through regular exercise. If you find that you can't play any faster, try bringing your fingers a little closer to the keys and avoid lifting them unnecessarily. It can also help to imagine the notes slightly softer, as this reduces the effort needed to press the keys. If you miss a note, pay attention to the speed and accuracy of your elbow and torso movement. At the same time, strengthen the musical speech by giving a clearer intonation to the interval leading into the missed note. If the sound or rhythm becomes uneven, slow the tempo slightly and strengthen the musical speech by giving clearer intonation to the interval that tends to be played too softly, too loudly, or too quickly. If the sound between both hands is uneven while playing the same scale or arpeggio pattern, bring a little more attention to the voicing. Allow the secondary hand to recede gently into the background, while the principal hand remains slightly more present. This creates the impression of greater evenness between the hands. In practice, it is not possible to produce two hands that sound perfectly identical when they are played at exactly the same dynamic level. And if everything begins to fall apart, simply stop for the day and come back tomorrow. Sometimes the mind needs a little time to absorb what it has learned. A good night's sleep allows the subconscious to continue processing and consolidating the new information. As the tempo gradually increases, it becomes easy to lose awareness of the musical and physical qualities that support effortless playing. Use the following checklist to help keep these elements present throughout your practice. Allow your elbow to move with freedom, accuracy, and a comfortable amplitude. Keep listening to the phrasing, giving the less prominent phrases a lighter intonation and more prominent phrases a more intense one. In this way, the muscles can develop a natural breathing pattern, especially as you approach the faster tempos. At the same time, stay aware of the larger musical form, noticing the relationship between the less prominent and the more prominent sentences. Continue to feel the pulse clearly, together with the stronger and weaker beats. Remember that the quality and speed of fast playing come primarily from the mind rather than from finger effort. Continue to rely on your inner sound imagination, your inner singing, your musical speech, your intonation, your arm weight, your phrasing, and your awareness of the musical form. As you play, let your gaze rest softly on the keyboard near the ends of the black keys, close to the fallboard. Look without fixation. Move to the next timing only when you can keep all of these elements quietly and comfortably in your awareness while playing. Before you continue, re-establish the new pulse with the metronome. Consistently practicing at the same tempos is essential for developing speed in a gradual and reliable way. When practicing larger sections at faster tempos, the following routine can help you reduce unnecessary tension, minimize the risk of pain or injury, and support healthy, efficient practice. Apply dry dates to your fingertips if needed. Between repetitions, pause and exhale slowly 5 times. After completing the round, perform the windmill exercise. Between repetitions, pause and exhale slowly 5 times. After completing the round, perform the windmill exercise. Apply dry dates to your fingertips if needed. Between repetitions, pause and exhale slowly 5 times. After completing the round, perform the windmill exercise. Between repetitions, pause and exhale slowly 5 times. After completing the round, perform the windmill exercise. Then complete your weightlifting exercises and planks, and take a moment to drink some water. As you work through this routine, remind yourself that it is normal for a new, faster tempo to feel unfamiliar at first. Rather than becoming discouraged, allow your mind and body time to adapt. With each repetition, the new tempo gradually becomes more familiar, stable, and comfortable. Throughout the routine, keep your attention on step 3. Avoid allowing the mind to wander. The quality of your attention during practice is the same quality of attention you will rely on in performance. Finally, maintain a healthy attitude toward your body. If your hands begin to feel tired, there is no need to assume that something is wrong. Fatigue is often a natural part of developing stamina. Simply continue following the healthy practice routine, allowing your body to alternate naturally between effort and relaxation. For faster pieces, the objectives are to gradually bring the piece to its appropriate tempo, learn to establish the correct tempo consistently before beginning to play, and continue strengthening your memorization. After each repetition, identify any challenging sections and work through them using the 4 steps of the weeding method. Progress to the next block only when the current one has been fully memorized and feels comfortable at the required tempo. Identify the problem. Analyze which intervals didn't feel stable, focus on improving musical speech, and speed and amplitude of the elbow motion. Practice only at a slow tempo. Practice the error measure in 3 tempos. Only move to the next tempo when you feel comfortable. Practice the error measure within a larger block in 3 tempos by adding a sentence before and after that measure. Move to the next tempo only when feeling comfortable. When playing through the piece next time, keep in mind any corrected measures and pay attention to new challenging sections to practice afterward.